Okay, the next question is, can my wages be garnished if I am unable to pay my credit card debt? Well, the answer is yes and no. Let me explain. Many debt collectors will imply that they're going to garnish your wages if you don't immediately take care of an outstanding debt. It's their way of trying to motivate people to pay. But the reality is that wage garnishment is not that simple or quick. There are numerous steps that must take place before your wages could be garnished. The key thing to understand is that a creditor must secure a judgment against you in court before your wages could be garnished, because without a judgment, there is no wage garnishment. So let's take a brief look at the steps a creditor has to go through in order to obtain a judgment against you. The first thing that has to happen is the creditor has to file a lawsuit with the court in your local jurisdiction. This is normally done by an attorney hired by the creditor. Then, once a lawsuit is filed with the court, the lawsuit has to be served upon you. This is normally accomplished through a process server or via certified mail. A lawsuit does not become active until you are served. However, once you are officially served with the lawsuit, the court clock then starts ticking and you will have a limited amount of time in which to respond to the lawsuit, also known as answering the lawsuit. The time to respond to the lawsuit varies from state to state, but is commonly in the range of 21 to 30 days. If the court papers are unclear as to the deadline to respond to the lawsuit, just pick up the phone and call the courthouse and they'll tell you exactly what the deadline is. However, let's say you find out that you have 21 days to respond to the lawsuit that you've just been served. If you do not respond to the lawsuit in those 21 days, then on day number 22, the creditor's attorney could file a default judgment against you for failing to respond within the specified time frame. Then, once they have a judgment against you, they can attempt to garnish your wages shortly thereafter. In fact, I'll let you in on a dirty little secret that occurs in the debt collection industry. There are certain law firms that file lawsuits and they are hoping that you don't realize that there's a deadline to respond to the lawsuit. Because remember, if you do not respond to the lawsuit by the specified deadline, a default judgment can be entered against you. So, with some law firms, they are banking, no pun intended, on some people's ignorance of how the legal system works in hopes of obtaining easy judgments against people simply because they were unaware of the deadline in which to respond. Therefore, the moral to the story is this. If you are served with a lawsuit, do not ignore it, because if you do, the opposing party can win the lawsuit by default simply because of your failure to respond within the specified time frame. So now you know the basic steps involved if a creditor wants to garnish your wages. As mentioned earlier in this video, it is very common for debt collectors to imply or possibly threaten a wage garnishment, but now you know that it's not quite as quick and easy as they might want you to believe. And like I mentioned in a previous video, lawsuits take time and money, which is the reason why most past due credit card accounts do not end up in litigation. If you found this video helpful, please check out the rest of the videos in this series at hoffmanbrinker.com/videos. See you there.